Thank you for coming on into the live and sharing your essence with me in this eternal moment of which we all share an inextricable and inexorable part. Thank you for doing your part, for coming on in each and every day, and we'll do the same without wasting a single second of your time. Bada bing, bada boom, we go into the charts. So during the Asian session, I was pointing out to a friend of mine how it was coming back into this pocket, and then we were retracing off that and possibly holding this 236 level. Let's go ahead and show you that idea. It was kind of interesting because we were holding that level at the 236, and I was projecting it possibly coming up to that 814 region, and sure enough, boom, it came up to the 1618 and then some. Very fascinating, really, how the 236 plays out when it does. And then it came back down into this region. What was it that we were bouncing off of down here, you say? Well, it was a 786 bounce off here up to a 786 rejection here to a 786 bounce. And here we are trapped within the Fibonacci math. Liquidity, math, momentum, the three pillars of trading. Get these in check and you can trap price action where you need it. Previously getting the retrace in the Asian session back to the pocket for that nice entry level. Rise, retrace, continuation to the upside. ABC. So where do we go from here? We're back at square one. On the contracts as well, if we look at the session delta, we're back at even Steven, only a negative 100 contracts for the session, basically keeping it even. If we zoom out here, you can see that we basically took the buys for a ride up in the Asian session, ripped it down back into the sells, only to a measly 500 in sell side liquidity, and then started to rip it up into the buys a little bit, taking the shorts for the squeeze, and now coming back to the sells. 25 minutes for the open. We got a bit of a gap to fill down below from the close of yesterday, so coming back down to the 600 region could be where we are headed. Coming back to some of those sells from the buy side imbalance from yesterday, the straight rip to the upside, basically inducing like 7,000 buy side liquidity and leaving it there. So do we see a little bit of a rip to the sell side? I have no idea. I will see how what bridge gets crossed when we cross it. As it stands right now on the noise reduced Renko charts, we can also see that we are on the 8 bar starting to retrace back into some of these pools at the 200 SMA, which is the 50 on the 32 bar. 32 bar has some pools on either side. It could go either way at this point. Have levels down below. We have a settlement line down at, that's previous day's settlement line that we returned to. Today's settlement line, has that been posted? Let's go ahead and update this. So the settlement line for today is down at the 714 region where we opened, so we could come back down to that open level, get some of the bearish again, and then start to come back, rip it back up at that point. My friend probably met with the team of Atos abroad here, so I'll talk to him after the stream, see what's up with the Atos people. This is showing the footprints and the delta, a nice platform that you can trade multiple rhythmic accounts off of. Currently have a top step linked up to it, so I can trade the Bulanox on NinjaTrader. So it's nice, it shows the color coded of the delta, and you can see where they had some more buy side induced up here while getting a lower high and a higher high on the buys. So that was some bearish divergence for the delta, so they took it back to the sell side. What do I mean by that? Well, if you look here, you see this trend line. You're making a lower high and a higher high on the delta, suggesting that it was fatiguing at that point potentially, and then started to rip into the sell side, having induced some buys to the tune of 4676 up here. But they're keeping it pretty even, Steven, for the session. The session's straight right now at negative 258 for the sell side imbalance. So they're just kind of meandering around with the idea of possibly ripping it to the downside. You did have a shoulder, head, shoulder kind of idea on price action here that could be rejecting off the 800 region. It's starting to come lower. We did get that rip up into this region. Let's go ahead and throw on the momentum here. Boom, boom. What is this little bit of happiness? Link in the description for more. MomentumMaster.info. Scroll down to features, toggle at your leisure. This is Bitcoin's bottom, at the absolute bottom at 15K before you knew it was a bottom, because we saw the rocket ship and we just made the schematic because it repeats itself over and over and over again. So we were looking at this kind of schematic yet again over here. Where was it? Here we go. So we were seeing this rocket ship back at 26K for the last rocket bounce for Bitcoin, and now we're up at 35K, so a smooth 10 grand on that last rocket ship that presented itself on Bitcoin. And here's what your prominent streamers were calling for at that exact level. While we had the rocket ship, he was calling for a downside. While we called for the short, he was calling for upside. It's just accountability, you know what I mean? People have amnesia. So this is the stochastic array. So this array has these insinuations of upside at the reversal points. So what are we getting here? We're getting 4 time frames overbought. So we could see a little bit of a pullback on some of the 4 hour. 4 hour could come down a little bit more. It could go reset some lower time frames and continue. Accountability, man. Shout out to everyone here. Thank you for coming on in, all 3 of you. So we're going to basically mark off the level for the hour of power today. Here, you can remove this. This was the bottom. The rocket ship that appeared yesterday in the London session, we took that, locked and loaded on an hourly time frame. Even seeing how these lock in is very key. So let's go ahead and look at the Dixie today. We're just playing it safe here, so we're going to look at Dixie. Dixie's starting to rip to the upside as people probably take profits from their Bitcoin, as the government takes their Bitcoin profits. We got a nuke that locked in earlier today. Did it hold? Doesn't look like it. It started to drift up higher during the London session. Let's go ahead and make sure Ultimate is loading properly. It's not, it's getting an exclamation point error. Possibly double topping. We had this nuke lock in on the 15 and the hourly. Oops. So are we getting that double top scenario as people start to trim their profits back a little bit and eat into the liquidity for Bitcoin, store values, Gold also took a little bit of a take profit tumble for the long people that saw this upside path. We had rocket ships down here, by the way, for the gold on Momentum Master. Looking at the NQ here, had that rocket ship. We could see this continuation and overall retrace into this level. Where would a retrace level look at right now? Let's go ahead and turn off the momentum to see what we do with retracement levels. We already hit the 786 here, so this one is done. Sure, it could hit again, but we're done with it, and we're done with this one. And this projection hit, so we're done with that. And this one also hit, so we're done with that. So let's go ahead and take a look. Where can we go from here? Where do we go from here? So you got some pockets to deal with in this region. If we do possibly pull back to that region, we got some fair value gaps up in here. So we could continue up higher into this region. If we go ahead and pull this down to here, you got some levels to think about. This level, by the way, is this little bit of happiness down here is this daily wick. This happened to coincide with that rocket ship down here, which is why we took it. Proof is in the pudding, so here you go. Where is that? Here. Boop. Right there at the 15,531. We're seeing the rocket ships here started to burst out of that region, and boom. So do we chew through this, or is this a nice support structure for us to bounce off it? Looks like we are, but getting a little bit of a retrace into some of these regions. So far you're on the bearish trend-based fib level, back down into this region. This was a little bit of a C divergence play coming up. Is this a A, B, C to go lower for an attack at the sell side today? We got a hit at the buy side. Is this a dead cat bounce to go lower? Everything is possible at this time. Getting that 3 time frame overbought nature on the stochastic array. Hourly time frame, 4 hourly time frame, these are overbought. Does it necessarily matter? Not really. If you are bullish, we got about 15 minutes for the open here. But overall, when you get these 4+ numbers, it starts to retrace back. So you get the 4+ starts to go up, get the 4+ starts to go down. Let's try to find some fair value gaps of note, shall we? How about in this region? Traded pretty fairly, except down in this deep retrace zone. So let's go ahead and make this a deep retrace. Deep. If it automatically pulls back into this deep zone, I've got too many fib levels here, so I'm going to clean up the bearish trend-based fibs for now. Don't need them right now. I'll just keep the low intact for now. And then we'll just say this is a little fair value gap area here. We already worked out some in this region. We could say this entire region from here to there is technically an area of interest. So you got rocks and hard places on all sides, and it's which side does it want to go to is the question. Now let's go ahead and get strapped up and ready to go. So far, getting a rejection off the cloud and seeing the momentum shift here to the downside. We were talking about that idea of retracement. Breaking the super trend on the 4 minute as well. Starting to come back into those London levels perhaps. And on the ATOS, you're getting that 119 buy side induced right there at the VWAP, and they're just ripping right into that. Poor soul. You got the point of control up at 790, value area high 816, value area low being established at 768 right now, but will likely change if we go lower. 10 minutes until the open. Currently meandering into the sell side ever so slightly with 200 contracts of sell side liquidity. How's everyone doing out there in YouTube land? Coffee at the ready. Hey, what's up, effing book? Read a effing book. How'd you come up with that name again? I remember it was something to do with somebody telling you to read a book. So the Optima here, just to give you a little bit of a background on it, this is a multiple time frame averaged formula, taking 5 time frames below the 1 minute and averaging them into a supercharged RSI and a supercharged money flow and a supercharged Williams, because you got to be supercharged on this futures fast level of trading. So all these money stacks and flying away. All this stuff about momentum with the green dots and the do not enter, all of this stuff is looking at the lower time frames and average and taking it across all those time frames to give you that information quickly, ideally, so you get that watch out longs, watch out longs, watch out longs before it rips down. And you get that green momentum if you're in a short to like watch out for your short, or go long potentially, and it lets you know that before the momentum shifts, like as it's shifting on the lower time frame kind of thing. That's what the Optima is about. Previously, you could use it even if you weren't a premium member that and didn't have access to the 1 minute, but when I made changes to this formula, they realized they had like a glitch that allowed people to use that, so they fixed it, so non-premium members can no longer use that lower time frame goodness without having the pay of the premium for TradingView. But it's quite nice. The divergence does play out if you watch these divergence plays, so that's why we got it there. We got a regular momentum master B here on the quote-unquote higher time frame outlook here when we watch that Heikin Ashi indecision, getting indecision on the 4 minute in the next 3 minutes. Does this close an indecision? We got going into the open here, going into inducing some longs here too. I'm seeing a lot of blue here, possibly getting that B into C lower, although anything's possible in the barcode opening plays. So you got zones on either side, really. The Dixie pumping a little bit, so could be seeing some possible retracement into some of these from the Asian session, similar to yesterday, but then it might rip up afterwards. I don't really have a bias. So I've watched people with daily narratives get wrecked, so I try not to hold on to a daily narrative. I just put like where the pools are on either side. If it gets to a point of interest on either side, that might be where I collect a reversal. But I'm not trying to guess that opening drive play because that's gambly. If I see some low-hanging fruit, I may take it, but even then, looks can be deceiving. That 4 minute indecision locking in prior to the open. Okay. Once again, VWAP at 780. I suspect it will change. We're just right around that point of control. Currently rejected the point of control. Inducing slight sell side here. Coming back to break even on the session. Only 130 in sell side imbalance. I'm pretty sure the price action doesn't even know where it's going to go. It just it whipsaws back and forth and traps traders, and then finds a snag in their lure and then starts to reel it in. So you could play that and become the person that gets snagged, or you could be the lucky camper that gets the pivot in your favor. I've been on both ends of the stick. There's no real rhyme or reason. I mean, you could technically, I've seen these things where the trend dot is just like, okay, it's holding the cloud, it's doing everything that I would do for a long, except it's going into the open, and then I don't take it, and then it just rips. And it's like, oh, okay, I should have just trusted the indicator, but there's no way to know that it's not going to stop hunt first. All right, so we got 44 seconds for the open. Here we go. Purge the emotions. Here we go. So far, looking like it's holding the trend dots in a manner that it wants to push up. Are we going to get a stop loss hunt rise and then drop it like before, only to like surge back up after retesting the lows? Open in 3, 2, 1. And, ooh. $346 buys entered there off that open. 183 shorts. And it's doing one of those immediate one-sided entries, getting some shorts entering here and or peeling off of those 346. Value area high at 812. Let's see how it reacts there. I was saying just going in, it's like all the signs are pointing to long, but it's just like, how do you know it's not going to do their scam stuff in the beginning first? Here's the pivot. Now they got a fresh candle to work with. 613 buy side triggered there, including this 346. If they rip below 777, they're going to take that 346 for a ride. You're neutral on all the bars here for the Renko. Establishing shorts here without actually following through right now. Starting to follow through. For First trade successful. Took my 2 contracts out. Coming back above those 346 contracts after inducing 600 buy side. All right. Good. Getting that pivot. Stop loss trailing into profit, 85.90 ticks. So this is how you read the ATAS, link in the description. 14-day free trial available. When it came back above this 346 in buy side, it let me know that they induced enough shorts to cover this guy, and they were intending to rip it up, at least in my mind, by reading this, enough to pay me. So when they came back above this guy, I knew they were going to let that guy get paid because they had offset the sell side here, and it was negative 600 as it was going down into this value area low and bouncing off of it. So we took it for what it was worth, and now it is 156 ticks up. Booyah. Shout out to everyone here on the live, baby. What a way to kick it off. And it hit my thing off in profit. We are a good $100 up on the first trade.
Fatality.
Hitting the shorts yet again. And this is why I don't really need a daily bias. Like, what's the daily bias for exactly? And it could rip even, I mean, it looks like it just did its little thing, but we're flat. It doesn't matter. We paid ourselves. That's why the trailing stop loss of the ATM strategy is the good thing. Let's go ahead and look at Momentum Master while we look at ATAS here. Straight up bar coding here. Looks like you're drifting off the cloud here. You could continue higher on the 30-second. You're getting some bullish divergence. Check it out. You get a higher low on the oscillator on the 30-second while making a lower low. If you compare it back to here at this pivot, so you got this bullish divergence starting to play out. You got the lower time frame finger up momentum on your side with the cross up of the baselines, and now you're starting to reclaim that 4-minute cloud. So it looks like we could be going higher here. We got that fair value gap zone / Fibonacci area to look at up here already, so we don't need to guess later. How's everyone doing out there? Good? Good. That's pretty decent for contract play. So you had one also thing to note on the 4-minute here, you had this indecision. Check it out. So you had this indecision here on the 4-minute, and you're previously bear hammering it up, and then indecision, which leads you to believe it may pause on that hammer to the downside, and it started to go up from that point. Now this is sloppy price action as they induce the opening traders, but that guy with the 346 buys there was very convicted and held through. So is that a market maker position being established? So a bunch of gobbledygook in this candle, but the overall 258 buy side taken overall as it stabs to the upside here above the value area high. getting a less volume each 4 minute, unless this can bring it from stop volume candle into the PVSRA green vectors, then it could be another stop run. In terms of session delta, we have only 500 for the session in buy side here. Could go higher either way, but remember yesterday was 7,000 buy side that they accumulated and left there, so they could go back into the sell side today. Who knows? The shadow knows. Point of control changing with the contracts that enter, with the amount entering here. So they're snagging, they're getting their snare hooked, they're throwing the chum in the water, getting the people to bite. If it's doing something and not following through, does that mean it's going to do the other thing? Let's go look at the zones that we're hitting here. Basically coming back above the 50 SMA, so we've been going above it, coming below it, going back above it. We're just like playing 50 SMA games here on that. Now we're starting to make some moves up into the regions here. Almost 1,000 buy side taken here as they take the shorts on a little bit more of a squeeze here to the upside. So you turn that into a green vector here, slightly less volume than the previous 4 and 8 minutes. Each 4 minutes getting less volume. Getting some buy sides as the sells hit their stop, as the shorts hit their stop loss and have to liquidate at a loss here. The immediate hits to those 47 are definitely shorts being hit. When it comes back and then these buys increase, those are new longs adding. And so if there's new shorts adding and new longs adding, if the shorts outweigh the longs, they can use them as drift fuel to go higher. If they reached an objective, then they pull back and then these guys get paid. Someone's getting paid either way, and someone's becoming the fuel. So far 1,000 buy side in this candle here for the session, 400 on the 2 minute here, slowly pulling back to 378, 390. And this means the delta means the imbalance within the candle, how many buys are outnumbering the sells. So there was 344 buys outweighing the sells there. And we're drifting above the trend dot cloud at a healthy 2 o'clock angle here. What? Using parallels on Mac. That's how I got these little Mac stuff, but I also have Windows. It's not bad. The technology is pretty smooth. I'm running on a M1 Ultra. Only 12 apparently in Japan that have been bought. Can't complain about it. I like doing graphic design, so it's pretty good. Got me my Adobe stuff. Logic, I do music. So we're starting to get some buy side up in this region. We haven't really cleared the pivot high level at 854. Do we clear this and then start to give a little bit of downside, or are we going to front run it and come down a little bit lower? Is this coming back into a bullish order block idea off the trend dots here? Trend dot on the 1 minute holding. All yesterday these trend dots were holding and it was just taking it higher. Starting to get a blue stop volume vector candle here. Can it turn to green, or is it going to close as a blue stop volume candle? Closing beneath the trend dots here on both 1 minute and 30 seconds, starting to pull back here. Possibly retrace into some of the sell side now. Just every time they pull back into the sell side, they just keep ripping it higher. This could be your little Larry Williams turtle soup. By the way, ICT did not invent any of these terms. He is a complete shyster who stole a bunch of things from Baby Pips and Larry Williams and all these other prominent traders as his own. So you'll never hear me say praise about that dude. Alright, so it looks like we're ripping to the downside. You had that little insinuation right there, breaking the trend dot with the bearish retest. We were talking about dropping that. Stopping volume candle on the 4 minute, the volume was tapering each time it drifted higher. Came back into about 500 contracts for the session of sell side liquidity and ripping lower. Turtle soup in acceleration inbound, perhaps, as they take the longs for a ride, maybe. Oops, that was no good. I just accelerated into a reversal there. A large amount of cells entering here. I might just get stopped out there. Ouch. And we just gave back everything in that first one with the full stop there on the 4 contracts. Session delta back at break even here. That became a break-even trade. Yep. Scared money don't make no money. But we gave back that first trade in that second trade
third trade, we got a little bit of it back. This is the fourth one. Extremely volatile on both sides. It's wick whacking both sides. They don't want to give anyone a clue. Especially if you got a tight stop like I'm doing. Go ahead, take those. Yes, sir. All right. So at the top of the candles here, you're starting to, gotta keep my eyes on the prize here. At the top of the candles here, we're seeing some buys get rejected here. When we're rejecting the point of control and are seeing this, or this VWAP and the point of control, and seeing a bunch of buys trapped up here, I was seeing that we could at least get a little bit of ticks off of this. I don't know how far it's gonna go, but I removed my stop because I was tired of getting wick whacked out. Yesterday, as I said, they had 7K in buy side for the delta accumulated so they could retrace back into the sell side. So they went and reclaimed all of the buy side imbalance around here, started to reject the 50 SMA, and I was starting to see that we were rejecting the cloud, and the cloud was thinning, and we kind of bearishly retested on the 30-second and the 1 minute. We had the longs do not enter quantum level thing as they snagged it. Can we pull back a little bit more aggressively here? I don't like how it's meandering around here, gathering liquidity like a curveball to the upside. Yeah, we're gonna close it 25 ticks, whatever. Not going to take it break even, so we're basically back at square one here. Made $100 and gave it back. Extremely volatile. Gotta take while the taking's takeable. I had 80 ticks there and I didn't take it. And this could ultimately be B trash consolidation into a C deeper retrace idea. Got to reject at 802. So we've taken, I believe, 4 trades. Basically, one stopped out, full stop, one stopped out with one take profit hit, one full run to the upside, 150 ticks. Then we gave it back with that full stop. Side here, 5 on the session, but basically, wait, what? Why did it pause there for a moment? It's weird. Five minutes till the hourly close here. Son of a gun. There we go. Rip into these buy side right here, take them lower, rip off that point of control. I'd like to see it go down actually. Thank you. It's really choppy. My tight stop loss doesn't like it, but I don't want to be hit for massive losses if it pulls it up against me. It's for my own protection. I'm generally good about sensing the momentum shift, and we got it. So now we should be positive. Kicked me out there. Positive 50 bucks, 60 bucks. Starting to come back above the point of control again after stopping out the buys. It's just really aggressive. It's like a freaking, you know, it feels like I'm playing like a first-person shooter game, except it's for money. I'm trying to take the headshot. Boom. Took that for some gains. Boom. Stop in profit. Now we're back to the $100 mark. Get 100 ticks either way. Doesn't need to be a straight rip to the upside like it was beautiful in that first trade. It can be choppiness if you read that well enough. Got stopped in profit there. It's all good. $113 across some accounts. Starting to reclaim the cloud here on the 32nd and the cross-up event of the 1 minute. This could be a fake out to the downside and start to reclaim that 50 SMA if it does play out. You had an ABC and now you're starting to rip it. Is there momentum behind this? Can it go further up here? Start to rip some more. Oof, not really. Needs to hold above 800. There we go, come on. Come on. Come on. There you go. There you go. So you induce the shorts The people that are not quick to pivot get trapped in a mindset, and we just pivot alongside their liquidity. That's all you got to do. Ride the momentum, ride the waves. Don't get locked into one position. 150 bucks up on the accounts here. Stop trailing into profit. And the hourly closes in 2 minutes. It's going to likely hit me out of my trade here. Breaking the super trend, so you have the Trinity on your side, the Holy Trinity, the cloud, the super trend, and the baselines in effect here for a rip to the upside on the 30-second and the 1 minute. Super trend holding on the 1 minute here, so you got the super trend and the 4 minute in the cloud in your favor, and the baselines. So you got all three in alignment for upside momentum here. Let's see how far it can go. Let's just pull it back to break even. I'm fine with letting the runner run to break even. Let's see. Can you get that full fill? Let's do it. I'm happy with that. So let's go ahead and post this because this is what we like to see. Trying to come back to stop out the quick, the algorithmic stop hunt here, taking out liquidity. Wait, did that kick me out? I think that kicked me out of break even, didn't it? Son of a gun. Oh no, it filled my entire thing, so we're up 200. So it filled my entire strategy for that runner. Cool. I should have left the strategy a little bit higher, but it is what it is. Seems to be the catchphrase of a lot of people these days. It is what it is. Shout out to everyone that is watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. Hopefully you're having a good day. We are 6 trades in, and I believe we're at a 4 out of 6, if not just 50%. 3 out of 6. I think it's 4 out of 6 with some stop in profit one for the one that's, I think it's 4 out of 6 with the one being stopped in profit. The other full fill, 2 full fills, take profits, and 1 full stop loss hunt, which leaves us up for the day for $200 across 5 accounts, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, 4 accounts maybe. And yeah, we're hitting a zone. We're front running relatively equal highs. We did not clear the range just yet. You do have a bunch of sell side induced up here that they could just be refueling a bullish order block off of. Who knows? Let's go see what the trend dots. This could be a cloud kiss idea. What is the cloud kiss? Well, you look at this schematic and you see the cloud here. We break out and then we come in, we kiss the cloud, and then we keep going. It's just something that happens over and over again on all assets. So you break through the cloud, you say that's rude, and you come back and you give it a kiss. This happened here on the 4 minute. Don't believe me? Take a look. So we broke out, came back, we kissed it, and now we're starting to break on the 4 minute. When I saw us come back above the cloud, that's when you saw me going long. I was shorting down here, came back above the cloud. I immediately flipped when we had the baseline in our favor. Baseline now crossing to the downside. I don't like to see incongruence with our trinity. We need the baselines, the cloud, and the super trend in our favor for some upside flavor.
And we've essentially gone sideways. It's interesting. We had this basically we're barcoding on 4 minutes and so on. So people are either distributing more their positions and or accumulating more for some upside paths. Getting the money flying away here on Optima on this, as it started to abate here. What's up from the people watching? Thank you, Ultimate TV 9000. Thank you for stopping on in. We are currently up for the day. We took 6 trades so far. Quick little scalps here. We got 150 tick one. These are the ones we got here. We got like a, where is it? I didn't have time to take it, but we did have this 150 tick one, and then we took a 100 tick one, 100 tick up here. Took a few scalps, shorts, and then we saw the pivot in the liquidity. Starting to come back into some sell side here on the session. 500 for the session induced here. 113 contracts of sell side they're bouncing off of here at the VWAP / point of control. Essentially just barcoding right now, playing both sides like a fiddle for those who cannot stay flexible and pay themselves with smart adaptive stop losses and take profits, which is why I recommend using an ATM strategy and catching the momentum into the burst, into the burst, into the burst, like a headshot, boom, into the burst. Watching it bounce off this sell side entering here could be a rejection point to go lower. Those are definitely shorts, not longs being hit here, unless they break above it. And then when you see these buys, they're either late coming longs or these shorts getting stopped out. And the more you look at this, the more you start to see the juxtaposition. They had these sell side hit from the buyers up here. So the people that bought here and or shorts that got stopped out, they run the sell stops on the buyers and or induce the shorts, and then they run it up to induce the buyers and run the stops on the shorts. And it's just this oscillation between the stops of both sides. And that's why you'll see more sells into the bottoms of the candles and more buys at the tops. It is totally counterintuitive because you would think that the buying started here, but it's really the stop losses that gravitate the price up to these points, not the demand. It's not supply and demand. It's kind of this weird liquidity pong. And then the buys induce up here and the sells induce down here, and then they bounce off the sells, and then the more sells you see down here, the more juicy the long looks, and the more buys you see up here, the more juicy the short looks, because they've stopped out a bunch of shorts. You feel me? That's what the idea of buy side liquidity is. The shorts get stopped out as buys and or trapping buyers at the top and taking them for a ride. And then they see how many of those were actually buyers by testing the lows. And that's all this price oscillation is about. Just a big liquidity game. Liquidity pong. And on that note, I'm going to post a liquidity pong here. Liquidity pong. This one. And that's it. Bar coding. But you can still capture moves within this if you know what to look for. Seeing this sell side enter here shows me they could just bounce off that short pool. I don't know, unless they induce enough longs here. Looks like it's 45 to buy side on the delta for this 2 minute. Still, that's a juicy amount of shorts to go run, because they're already on a cycle. You see, they're already kind of run these up to buy side. Link in the description, by the way, if you want to look at ATOS. You can do it on crypto as well. There's more than just indices you can look at. Look at what's in the candle. Their phrase, their motto or slogan, whatever you want to call it, is like "stop guessing." So there's no guessing. You can see where the liquidity is inside the candle. I find it fascinating. What makes the candles move, you know? So we're starting to get a little push above the high region at 827. Getting a momentum dot on the lower time frames appear. Money stack on the 30-second. Also on the 1 minute. Holding that 4-minute cloud. Ultimately bullish. We have yet to hit a fair value gap of note. We're just playing the ranges here. Do we hit the pivot high at 854? Still kind of break even on the session. We went to -2 in sell side in this candle, -200, and now we're positive 300 on buy side. So we're staying within 1,000 contract spread of imbalance. That's what this whole chop is about. They're winding up for something. Have yet to make that nuance be met. Got that fair value gap above, you got the fair value gap below. Which one's it gonna be? So they stopped out a bunch of shorts up there. You can see that, boom, the blue, the bright blue into the resistance. That's definitely someone buying without wanting to. Like, no, account liquidated.
Fatality.
And then they retrace back into the sells, induce more shorts, and or stop out these longs. It's just an endless game. And it doesn't really matter what the buy side represents. Is this trapped longs or popped shorts that they're fatigued, they reached an objective on and reversing? It doesn't really matter. You see, they get a certain number of buy side and then that's their target. And then they get a certain number of sell side and then that's their target. And it's this shifting, this dragon fighting off halberds of soldiers poking at it on both sides. It's the dragon, my friends, the dragon. This dragon in my charts, my profile image. Oops. So we're coming back to that 30-second cloud here. Once again, cloud kiss scenario. We haven't really seen the trend dots continue. We've been ponging between the trend dots on both sides. Bong, 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 bong. Bing, bong, bing, bong. So only one that's kind of wicking off the top here is on the 4-minute as we hold that cloud. Slowly seeing this downtrend dissipate, but could shift at a moment's notice. Got that pivot high at 53. Sometimes we front run it because everyone's expecting it. We already hit the retracement on these levels, so I deleted them. But if I put them back, we're basically coming back to the 886 and the 786 of that retracement zone. You know? I mean, it looks like it's basically just faking out to go higher though. Just a matter of when and where it will start that pivot for good. Pull back to the 50 at 800, I don't know. One more test of the hold number. I mean, you
you got that cloud still holding at 810, super trend on the 1 minute holding since the open. Cloud on the 1 minute not looking so good though, not looking so hot at all, strangely enough, even though it's beneath the price. Yeah, as I say it starts to drop. And we're back to break even on the session. 217 sell side taken in that drop. And they're on a seek and destroy day today. It is seek and destroy both sides. So if you're not real quick on the draw and you ride that into momentum and get out, and you have pipe dreams about other price tags, you're getting chopped up today, my friend. At least in the moment right now, in this exact moment in time, until they decide to actually do something. Not easy read at all. So if you can take 150 ticks and 100 ticks like I just did, whew, that is not an easy feat to do. Starting to get that suppression of the price on the baselines here on the 30-second and the 1 minute, bearish divergence on the 30-second. Money flying away on the 30-second. Can you reclaim this cloud of the Clan McLeod, or are you rejecting? Getting some ambiguous contradictions with the baseline and the cloud not working together right now. So that's why we're not entering. We had that confluence back here, which is why we took that surge up. Boom. It was more probable than not with the Trinity on our side. Slight bearish divergence on the Williams as we went up into that region. Possibly already playing out here, still even for the session. They're just really playing both sides right now. Still holding that cloud though on the 1 minute, even though the 1 minute cloud just looks like garbledygook right now, not really giving a 2 o'clock insinuation at all. At all. 4 minutes still just holding steady, basically riding that 12-minute shift out during the open, and we're ascending channel, kind of rising slowly. And do we bounce off this cloud or not? Bounce off the cloud of the Clan McLeods or reject off the baselines? That is the question. Getting indecision on the 4 minute, closing in 3 minutes. If this indecision closes, you do have an A, B, slight C, possible pause. We've had 1 4 minute indecision before that. The thinner this spinning top appears, the more likely a kind of reversal may be inbound. You want to see more of these bull hammers to the upside that are more continued moves, not this chop suey. We will not be played. Because they immediately drop it and take it back. They take it up and take it back. It's just got to be quick. We already got $200 out of the market. We're not going to give it back just yet. Not just yet, mon frère. Starting to reject off the value area high, coming to the VWAP and point of control again at that
791 perhaps, or 800 once again. 360 sell side for the session, 230 in this contract, in this current 2 minutes. As we go and take some of these buy side for a ride, these longs, if you will. ABC to the downside. Money flying away for the first time on the 30-second in a while. At least do not enter for the longs warning. Breaking the cloud on the 1 minute. Coming back to the 4 minute cloud. This could be a break of the 4 minute after that indecision. $320 sell side taken in this candle. That poor 107 long contracts at 803 is the fuel for the burst. Down to the VWAP. They're going to take this guy for a ride now. It looks like there was no reason to put 107 contracts at 803 like that. I don't know what they were thinking. And they're just probing right now. It's probing both sides. It's just like a big probe. Barcoding it up. Let's go see what the masses say in this top step chat. Starting to slide down here, breaking that cloud on the 30-second and the 1 minute now. Getting that 2 time frames over bought diamond. We previously talked about that 4 time frames over bought idea, so retracing on the 4 hour could be an order at some point. And let's see, what do we do from here? Where do we go from here? It's holding that super trend on the 1 minute so far. 717. Yeah, when you get a lot of buy like blue here, just as you drop like that, they reject the point of control at 790, then they're taking these buys to a little bit more of a ride here. So they took that 107 to their demise down here, and then somebody else added here and they took those guys. Cross up of the baselines on the 32nd, and now possibly reclaiming this cloud on the 4 minute. I think it's more of a bearish retest at 812. But what do I know? there's just no real like confluence here. Like you're either straight reading a fourth dimensional game like I am with the liquidity, or yeah, you're just gambling. So we're not trying to gamble right here. We're trying to look for, I mean, this is a really nice idea of the sell side. I wasn't really liking all the buys here at the point of control, but yeah, seeing a lot of purple there. I would have liked to have seen more negative delta like you had back here with the 483 sell side imbalance. Seeing a huge chunk of sell side taken is where I would think to long. Sit conversely with a short, seeing 180 in buy side taken here and or induced. 480 on the 2 minutes here. And on the Renko, you've just been going sideways, sideways, sideways. Technically, you're bullish on the 16 and the 32. It's short-lived, perhaps. I mean, we're essentially going sideways here. 278 in buy side here at 831. What in the... $292 buy side? What do they know about? And they're just immediately like, thank you, and they're just going to take that 292 to the sell side, perhaps. I mean, there's a few rare occasions, one being yesterday where I saw a huge amount enter right before it went in that direction of their thought. But most times when you see that, it goes the opposite direction to take their liquidity. So reversing into that 292 contracts of buy side liquidity right there at 831. I don't know what they were looking at 831. Trying to play the bear breakout. So we took back all of that sell side imbalance of negative 669 sell side all the way back to 400 buy side now. So we're not letting the either side get an advantage of imbalance. It's straight up trading to seek and destroy both imbalanced sides. So with this 300 imbalance here, if they come beneath that 37.5 region, they could take this 302 for a ride. Too gambly for my liking right now. I'm just gonna chill. Don't want to give back what we've got so far. So good. Waiting for a little bit more spice, pep in the step, whatever you want to call it. Just I'll have a mintia, dry hard with caffeine, very spicy mint from Japan. I guess those 302 contracts knows something we don't. Do they know they're going to get a stab to the upside? And they're just comfortably resting at that breakout trade? As giving the insinuation it could clear this zone and go up to that pivot high level on the 32 bar here. You got the cloud, the super trend, the baselines, everything on the trinity in your favor for Momentum Master, saying you could get that burst. It's not in the zone I would like though. I would like to see it as it was reclaiming the cloud. You're getting bull hammers now on the 4 minute though. tempted to long this. The other day I did that and it was a freaking trap though. It's getting hot in here. Shorts getting jumpy here. They're adding some shorts, 80 contracts, imbalance to short liquidity that they could take for a little bit of a buy side ride. Tell you what, I'll take it. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right. Ooh, and I took it right into profit. Love when the plan comes together. Ah, that's hilarious. Boom. Pivot high it is. Pivot high it is. And the stop is in profit. Either way, it stops us out. We win. We win even if we lose. 50 ticks, I'll take it. 232 for the day. Across some accounts. Don't normally play that, but the trend dot. I'm learning to trust the trend dots here. When it holds the trend dots in this ascending channel manner, and you're not seeing the money fly away on the Optima here, you're above everything. You got the Trinity on your side, the super trend, the cloud, the baselines. The baselines haven't crossed, mind you, so I wouldn't freaking short a baseline that hasn't crossed. You know, baseline has not even, now it's flashing on the 30-second, so I wouldn't be like, you know, gung-ho about it now, but this is why we're in and we're out. Took that 40 ticks like headshot. Fatality. So I can be flat and I don't need to be hoping for anything. 1,000 session delta in buy side here. You see a lot of buys up here in this as they liquidated some of the shorts here as they hit that pivot high. They didn't quite reach the 854.25 region, the exact high level. They could come back for it off of some of the minis, longs they popped and or sells they induced here. They may not be done because the trend dot's still holding, and this is why the trend dots are what their name is, trend dots. They kind of are backtestably true and arranged around the baselines in the cloud here in our system. Yo, what's up, Trader Mike? How you doing? What are you talking about? What is this? This is Momentum Master. Link in the description for more. MomentumMaster.info. We use the trend cloud and the baselines. An original indicator by yours truly. Has the stochastic array, which we had the honor of hitting down here. Yesterday we had a rocket ship that took off from the low and we took that to the upside. So now we're just playing the chop right now. We took a few scalps. We're up 7 trades for the day. We're 5 for 7. Took a 150 tick, 100 tick and 60 tick, and then took a full 44 tick stop in the face and a partial stop in the face on the other one. Starting to get the baseline crossed down. This is what the baselines are about. You can read about them. They're your first sign of reversal. The baselines are one of the few leading moving average formulas you will find on the market. When price action rests on or above these and the baselines begin to cross, upside begins. Conversely, as the price action closes beneath these and the begin to cross, downside begins. While this formula works well expressing the first signs of fatigue on all time frames, it will ultimately be a scalper's dream. Because you see this baseline crossing here on the 30-second, it's telling you watch out for the long potentially. And if this cascades into the 1 minute, which has this baseline starting to appear above the price action, if this crosses down, which it has not yet, you're not seeing that cascade yet. Normally we like to pair this with bullish divergence, and when we have the cloud, trend cloud pointing up to 2 o'clock here with this thickness, the trend cloud is one of those things that thins and thickens according to the amount of volume in the asset. So when it's pointing to 2 o'clock like this, we do not want to short it. So it's not really in our mindset, but this is incongruent with what this is saying. So it's saying watch out, but it held the trend dot, and so it's starting to bounce off the trend dot. It's like an ascending channel type behavior that it's doing. And you're seeing money fly away here on the Optima that it's not really following through with. So the sellers are in confusion right now as the 4-minute cloud is holding, and we have fair value gaps and Fibonacci to reclaim up here possibly as well. So we watched it hit the pivot high previously. Now we're looking here at ATAS, which is the contracts, the footprints inside of the candles, and you're seeing some 1,000 session delta and buy side imbalance. They've been pretty good about seeking and destroying both sides, so they go and take back some of these 1,000 contracts that they've accumulated in buy side, and they take it back to the sell side here, or going back into 240 sell side contracts here. This could just, and so now you're getting the flash of the cross down of the baseline on the 1 minute. Does this cascade here? Do you fail this trend dot, or do you close back above it? If you close back above it, they're just refueling a bullish order block to come back higher. 30 seconds says you're going a little bit deeper. Starting to get some indecision on the 4 minute beneath the dot here. Yeah, so this is where I would be not thinking about longing, because you're getting the baselines on both of these time frames working against you now. So this could be like water trickling down a mountain as they start to suppress the price now, as you see these baselines above the price, and it comes back to possibly this cloud, and the cloud angle starts to shift. This is why it's called momentum master. You start to catch the momentum before it even knows what it wants to do. And you see the money flying away, flying away, flying away on the 1 minute here. Is it following through? It's starting to abate, and it's still desperately trying to get back above that trend dot. Took 300 in sell side back here and bouncing off of it, so they could just refuel coming back above the dot here. And sure enough, too fast for me to react, but not convicted enough for me to enter short, because it just kept hanging on that dot, and this cloud is too thick. I'll show you the example of what I would look for a short. How about that? All right, since you're still wondering what the heck is this about, what is he talking about? Trend dots, clouds, all this stuff. So ideally for a short, when we were shorting earlier today, we we're looking at a bearish retest of the cloud in the opposite fashion, where you had this curvature, you had this curvature of the cloud and thinning like this, and then we were kind of breaking beneath it and bearishly retesting and continuing, and we were looking at this point with the thinning of the cloud and the angle tapering from 2. So this was a more higher probability short after the fact of this dot failing but bearishly retesting the cloud, which was thinning. So you had the cloud on your side, you had the super trend on your side, and the baselines on your side, this trinity of sorts. So right now we have the super trend against a short idea and the cloud. The only thing you have is the baseline, so you're waiting for that confirmation of those 3. So the super trend's just holding. Cloud's just thick as can be. Just riding it up. Getting bullish divergence, hidden bullish on the oscillator here, lower low on the money flow, higher low on the price, hidden bullish. These are your auto divergence dots. Getting the cross up of the baseline now, so you got everything back in alignment for the upside. The move has possibly played out, so coming back to the trend dot to take out those mini players. Wow, you got 2K on the session for buy side. We're just taking more buy side for a ride tonight. Buy side for a ride tonight. Coming back, 587 buy side imbalance on those 2 minutes that they took out. Now coming back into 200 sell side imbalance in this 1 minute, now increasing to 230. And we got 20 minutes for the hourly candle to close, and we will bid you adieu at that point. And this 4-minute cloud has been in your favor, even though the angle is kind of garbo, but the thickness since this shift on the open has insinuated that we are going up. So the cloud being beneath the price has insinuated longs overall. So we're not interested in any shorts. The baselines just are the first sign of reversal. So we just use them as fatigue potential. Move stop loss into profit ideas. Still got bull hammer, bull hammer, bull hammer, bull hammer on the 4-minute. Coming back to the cloud for the first time since the breakout here. This is the cloud kiss idea. So we could surge off this kiss to the cloud on the 30-second. Coming back into 300 sell side here. The shorts just don't believe it as they dollar cost average to their demise. Yet again, second day in a row, they just can't catch a break. I'm just gonna watch it hold that sell side and or push down lower. Yeah, you're not getting the congruence. You got the baselines against you on the 1 minute and the 30-second. You do have that cloud bounce idea, but it's a little bit high for me to think about right now. We'll just have a sip of coffee and relax. Fading off of the trend dot on the 1 minute. Closed with conviction. Beneath that sell side pool. Can it hold beneath that 138 at 848 here? You do have 1,000 in buy side imbalance to come back to. They've been on seek and destroy mode all session to clear that imbalance. That previous 2,000 imbalance, they came back into 1,000 like boop. Starting to bounce off the cloud here on the super trend. You're getting that sauce to continue. What's going on? Coming back above that sell side pool here. All right. You're gonna bring the Momo to me. I'll take the Momo. You're gonna go into that sell side and do it with conviction, please. No, you're gonna pull back. I don't like it. Rip. All right. Peel off one. No. Come on, man. Don't be rude. Follow through, please. They're inducing buys. I don't like it. One more push up. Nope. Oh, there we go. We like to be that sniper, you know what I mean? I don't like to be in drawdown. Nobody does, but I like to be like perfect, like right into the, profit zone. So technically this will go to break even if it hits our stop here. So this is a win. 6 out of 8 for today. Got $300 nearly, 260 thus far. I can forget about this now. So it's holding the super trend, holding the cloud here. You're getting the fabled cloud kiss idea. The baseline not in our favor here, and we're beneath the trend dots, but now we're getting the baseline back in our favor. We got the Trinity in effect, the holy trinity of the Momentum Master. Here we go. Momentum Master in effect. Hitting target 2 now for that little scalp. Stop in profit. Let's see if the runner can do its thing. You're getting a lot of buys here, stopped out shorts. Basically $300 on the day across some accounts here. Another 40 ticks, and so that's how we do it. Hopefully that makes sense, Trader Mike. It's not something that is easily explained, but it is explained in the blurbs below if you take the time to read them. Once again, momentummaster.info for more. Boom. There you go, holding the super trend, holding that cloud. And you just, you didn't have that perfect confluence, but we're coming back above the baselines, and I liked it, so I took it. What can I say? And you had this hidden bullish divergence again on the money flow. Hidden bullish divergence, lower low on the money flow, higher low on the price action. There you go, hidden bullish. On Optima. Optima is a multiple time frame. Under the hood is supercharged. You got all this lower time frame quantum stuff going on. 5 time frames beneath the 1 minute average. So it's supercharged, super smooth, super fast for that super decision-making power. Now 100 ticks into profit. Boom. Locked in. Even if it pulls back here, we're good. We are good in the hood, baby. Looks like it stopped out the runner. Wait, we still have, sorry, I have to flatten the account on the copy trader really quick. Give me a second. All right, so I think I did it. Let's see. We did. All right, good. All flat. Sometimes Replikanto doesn't work so well. Not sure what that's about. Sometimes it doesn't flatten all of them, or the master account. Technically it still could go up, but I don't like having them out of sync with one another. I don't want to have to babysit. All right, so we're approaching the end here. The drift has been to the downside here. Or sorry, the upside, what am I talking about? The drift has been to the upside, taking this cloud bounce idea for the session. Cloud on your side, you don't want to trade against the cloud here. Not unless you want to give money away. Super trend as well is your friend. Super trend is your friend. Till the end. All right, so we're almost done here for the session. We had 8 trades, 6 out of 8 played out. Technically, of that 6, one of them was break even. 2 contracts played out, 2 contracts stopped, so it broke even. And yeah, so you could say 5 out of 8, whatever. Doesn't matter, as long as you have a good ATM strategy that pays you and you protect yourself at all times. Okay, so we're starting to basically bull hammer it up on the 4-minute here. We have no indecision whatsoever, so there's no reason to think of abating just yet. 4 minutes, 4 minutes, 4 minutes, 4 minutes, just bull hammering it up. Trend dots also holding. We bleed the candles of the color because the candles aren't so important. Yes, the open and close and the wicks are important, but we bleed them of color because more importantly, it's where the candles close that insinuate the momentum fading or not. So the candle kind of closing up above here shows that they trapped some liquidity of some shorts back above the trend, and the trend has been to the upside. So the more times they sweep and come back, sweep and come back, sweep and come back, they're basically trapping shorts that just want to catch that sweet juicy short. Granted, we're creating some bearish divergence on Optima here on the 1 minute, so you are getting a short kind of possibly percolating. I'm not interested in it just yet, but you're getting this higher high while making lower highs on the oscillator. So at some point there will be a fatigue and a pullback of some kind. Already getting it locked in on the 30-second here. But even these bearish divergence here, you had a lower high, higher high, and then it pulled back, but it was holding the super trend, so you would have hopefully known to switch positions. And here's where that bearish divergence starts to play out, cross down of the baselines. It's weird, it's like we're saying it before it happens. You can kind of sense it. Now you're getting the indecision starting to appear here on that. So even if it starts to pull up a little bit here, you're going to possibly close with the indecision on the 4 minute. Rarely do you switch from bull hammer into bear hammer immediately. Normally there's like an indecision, which is why we weren't looking to short that just yet. But we did see the bearish divergence that was there. Now the bearish divergence is printing as a crystal, locked in stone, crystallized in reality. Coming back to that cloud that on the and the super trend on the 1 minute could get a little bit of a bounce. Let's go see what the liquidity is looking like. took back 249 in that last 2 minutes and 660 sell side contracts taken. They came back to that 2,000 imbalance of the buy side here. They came up to the high here, induced 192 buys and or stopped out some shorts, and then ripped it to the downside for 750 contracts of sell side taken here. And that is some longs getting wrecked here.
Fatality.
And they're coming back into these and possibly going lower, who knows. But when you see these hit and there's no buyers entering, that could be a good retrace to test how many of these are actually shorts. And they come back into this range for a little bit of a burp. But the displacement that they had here, now you're starting to see the cloud shift here on the 32nd. See what I mean? The cloud is thinning. So you could be coming back for that bearish retest we were talking about as an example earlier. You definitely broke that trend dot on the 1 minute. What's up? Horse crew in the house. We are at 8 trades so far. 6 out of 8 played out. We are up a smooth $315 across some accounts here. So we are doing mighty grand. We are looking at the possibility of possibly shorting. I don't know. It's a little bit scary after yesterday. We were seeing this hold the trend cloud on the 4 minute, and we were just looking at longs mostly. We did take a short beneath the trend cloud here in the just after the open, but watched it reclaim and then took the long thereafter a couple times. Some of them for like 50-60 ticks. So it's holding the super trend on the 1 minute until it doesn't. Looking weak, like it's not holding the cloud. Starting to shift that 30-second cloud here. This could be your trash B consolidation into a C to the downside here. You got 1K in buy side to come back to. You previously had 2,000. They came back into that 1,000 contracts as if they were on a mission. 752 grabbed there. Are they going to let them go and come up a little bit here and then take it down further, or are they just going to go sideways and induce as many longs as they can to dollar cost average to their demise? Looks like they might just rip, because the opposite is true. They're not even going above the trend dots here. They're just getting hammered as the dragon turns its belly to the downside here. The dragon. I would expect at least a little bit of a cloud kiss here, because it's a bit rude to pass by without saying what's up. Come back to that 56 level. I don't know. We got about 3 minutes before we bid you adieu, and then we will hop in and say what's up to everyone in Momentum Master crew. I just want to remind you of people who dress officially, snakes oil salesmen who wear ties and stuff, calling for upside at 27.9 as we caught that short. And then when we got the rocket ship, what were they calling for? Oh, downside. But, you know, makes sense that they have a very, very loyal audience that has amnesia. But if you put out projections to both sides, you can't lose, right? Starting to get the cross up that could get that kiss to the cloud. You so far have the super trend, the baselines. You have that trinity of the baselines, the cloud, and the super trend on your side here. So if you come up, you're starting to flip the baseline here, getting that cross up and then possibly see it fade would be the idea here. Holding the 1 minute super trend, so beware if you're in that short, possibly it could bounce up to bearishly retest. This 1 minute cloud still has not thinned completely just yet. 2 minutes for the hourly close. This hourly candle will turn into a wick with a strong body, so it could come up for another wick to do some tweezer top action on the hourly. Just after the hourly closes, it could do some interesting algorithmic settlement stuff. I'm not trying to catch this bounce, but you could see a bounce up to 55 here. Who knows? Who knows? The shadow knows. And let's go into the contract so we can not guess about it. You had 752 taken here, 151 sell side, 145 taking you to an imbalance in sell side liquidity, starting to reclaim into the 1,000 contract buy side imbalance, and now starting to rip back up to the buy side to test how many of these are shorts. And that is about it, my friends. We are at the end of the hour. It is pulling back to that 54 possibility of an ABC to the downside. I don't know the future, but it could be going like A, B, C, D, E, F, G to the possibility of retracing lower. Watch for that fade off the super trend at 62. Getting the flash of the cross down event on the 4 minute. And on that note, folks, I thank you for your time. So thank you for coming on into the live and sharing your essence with me in this eternal moment of which we all share an inextricable and inexorable part. Thank you for doing your part, for coming on in each and every day. And we'll do the same, bringing the fire, the accuracy, the precision, all that fun stuff. And we'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.